together each day. Where there's a will, there's a way.
The views and opinions expressed on Trudging Together are solely those of the host, co-host, and our guests. They do not necessarily reflect the views of any organization, fellowship, or other entity, and definitely not your boss, your neighbor, or that one guy in your home group. The content of this program is not intended to replace medical, psychological, or professional advice. If you're looking for that, please seek guidance from qualified professionals who spent way too many years in school. What you'll hear here is based on lived experience, recovery journeys, and the occasional bad coffee-fueled joke. Trudging Together is not affiliated with any 12-step fellowship. We are simply people sharing our stories and walking this path together, one day at a time. Thank you for joining us, and remember, recovery is serious business, but that doesn't mean we can't laugh along the way.
Sergeant's Thursdays. Sorry, I was in the middle of chewing ice. Yeah, Sergeant Thursdays. Morning, Amber. Good morning to you. Guess it's a little bit later today. We'll be doing two sober dudes. Tyler and I'm not sure the topic yet, but we'll be doing that at 2 o'clock Mountain Standard Time, 4 o'clock Eastern Time. All right. So, Michelle, that'd be 3 o'clock your time. Yeah. When you do sales, you get used to the, yeah. I think I need a haircut just to even everything out. It's out of control. All right. It's a better day. Yeah. It's a better day. Start over. Sometimes all you need is, sleep. All right. So. All right. Let's just, I don't really have anything to say. I didn't have anything prepared for the pre-talk. Usually I talk about something before I get to the daily funnies, but we're just gonna go ahead and get to the daily funnies. All right. Who's to say what's impossible what they forgot? Hey, you listen to Jack Johnson? Jack Johnson fans here. Jack Johnson, call in. Any Jack Johnson. I was reading Dad stuff at the same time, so it was hard for me. Yeah, that is a song. That song's called Upside Down. He's off the soundtrack for The Curious George. Yeah. All right. I like me some Jack Johnson. The coach went to the bank to get his quarterback. These are one-liners, so it'll be very quick. I asked my dog what's 2 minus 2. He said nothing. He said, woo. The first thing Santa's elves learn in school is their alphabet. Yep, they sure do. Ghosts are bad liars because you can see right through them. Right through them. The light on the laughing there. Right. The pony couldn't sing because it was a little hoarse. Why do I feel like I'm just repeating stuff? All right. Rip, boiling water, you'll be missed. Last one. I ate a clock the other day. It was very time consuming. I have to work on getting better jokes. Because I didn't think any of those were funny. Of course, there's some days I find everything funny just because, All right, today we're talking about no ordinary success story. It is out of today's daily reflection. If you'd like to follow along, looks like we will also be in As Bill Sees It, page 35. I'm not sure if it leads anywhere from there. We will find out. Welcome to the Daily Trudge. My name is Dion. I am your host. If you're here, please say hello, whether you're watching the live or the rewatch. And it looks like we will end up being in the 12 by 12 also, page 120. So we'll go ahead and save that. We'll do the daily reflection first, get us started with a little bit of hope, maybe. Who knows? Finger's doing a little bit better today. It didn't hurt as much this morning as it did yesterday morning. So progress. All right, in case people are wondering. So, no ordinary success story, February 26. AA is no success story in the ordinary sense of the word. It is a story of suffering transmuted under grace into spiritual progress. And how true. I mean, it's hard to describe what we get to do that. I mean, there are success stories, but when you turn around from having a tumultuous life, you know, it tends to get recognized. You know, people that have had harder in life, but you see them succeed. You know, you'll see the news stories, you'll see, and you know, and what are they doing? Well, they're overcoming circumstances that are really hard, and you did that too. You didn't choose to be an alcoholic. It's not like you went out of your way to be an alcoholic. Well, maybe you did after a while. I don't know. I did. So, like, call me alcoholic. Okay, I'll show you alcoholic. Yeah, I didn't do that. It only hurt me, but I did that. Yeah, it's not true. Alcoholism hurts everybody around him, right? So we are no ordinary success stories. We are transformed into something else. I was rocketed into the fourth dimension of existence. And it sounds like you're rocketed like it's really fast. No. All right. When the fourth dimension is a million miles away, the rocket ain't that fast. Okay. All right. Upon entering AA, I listened to others talk about the reality of their drinking, loneliness, terror, and pain. I know those guys. They're good friends of mine. Terror, bewilderment, frustration, and despair. The hideous four horsemen is what we call them. Yeah. They came along one day with a horse and said, "Let's go riding." And I did. I didn't even question it. As I listened further, I soon heard a description of a very different kind, the reality of sobriety. It is the reality of freedom and happiness, of purpose and direction, and the serenity and the peace of God, ourselves, and others. By attending meetings, I am reintroduced to the reality over and over. I see it in the eyes and hear it in the voices of those around me. By working the program, I find the direction and strength with which it makes it mine. The joy of AA is this new reality is available to me. That's even available to you now. And it's available to you also, whether you're an alcoholic or not. Right? I once was lost, now I'm found. And people go through that. Alcoholism isn't the only disease out there to be overcome, right? I want to make sure I have this correct. I'm going to double check myself here. My dyslexia it really mixes things up. Page 35, not 53. See? I'm like, this isn't matching. So I'm not sure we'll be in the 12 by 12. No, but we'll be in AA. Comes to page 69. So there we go. All right. I keep forgetting I can't use that hand. And then I go and use it again. Okay. There we go. Suffering transmuted. Now that sounds a little, that sounds a little, that sounds better. Sounds right. For Dr. Bob, the insatiable craving for alcohol was evidently a physical phenomenon which bedeviled several of his first years in AA. Yeah, Dr. Bob states in Dr. Bob's Nightmare that he did not get over his craving for liquor for the first 2.5 years. He says 2.5 years is what he says, right? And then he goes on to say, but at no time has he come anywhere near yielding. And that is because of service work. Mm. It's been a long time since I've had a craving. Thank you, God. Thank you, God. I'm not asking for one. God doesn't do that stuff. I bring that on myself. God doesn't give me the craving for alcohol. He doesn't do that to me. I do that to myself, right? So, all right, what does that do? Well, it gives us hope. It gives us hope that you too can make it. If he went through 2.5 years of cravings and made it to the other side, then that gives you hope that you can do it too. And there's one way to do it. Work the steps, get into the program, and work with others. That's how he did it. Right? You might think there are other ways. You might think there are easier, softer ways. Okay? They're not going to work. We have got to learn from the people that have come before us, or we are doomed to repeat it. That has not changed. Yeah. Now, what I've noticed being a little bit older is that every generation says that the next generation doesn't respect their elders. They even said that about Gen X. They said that about my generation too. And that wasn't true. Everybody I hung out with, right? Now they're saying about this generation. But I'm not quite seeing that either. And everybody that I've met that's a little bit younger seems to be pretty open-minded. They seem to be, yeah. It's what's being told to them that matters, how it's being presented. All right. Anyway, a time when only days and nights of carrying the message to other alcoholics could cause him to forget about drinking. Although his craving was hard to withstand, it doubtless did account for some part of the intense incentive that went into forming Akron's group number one. Huh. And I believe that was the name of the group number one. See how simple they kept this stuff? Now imagine we got numbered by groups. Would you imagine what number we would be at? Grassroots would be AA group number 1,734,932. Right? That'd be funny. Which one do you go to? Well, let's see. All right. So groups were kind of a happy mistake. Kind of. Right? Bob's spiritual release did not come easily. It was painful. It was to be painfully slow. It always entailed the hardest kind of work and the sharpest vigilance. See, now a lot of us talk about Bill W., but most of us, I relate more to Dr. Bob than I do Bill W. He went through more of what I went through than Bill did. But here's the thing. We needed both of these. Bill had what? A sudden spiritual experience. Dr. Bob had one of the lengthiest, right? He had what do we call it, of the educational variety. He had the educational variety that lasted for 2.5 years. So God gave us both examples so that everybody would be covered. Isn't that cool? God was doing that for you and you weren't even born yet. All right. So now that we've gone through that, let's dig into this a little bit more. The world measures success in one way, okay? But in recovery, we measure it in a different way. Right? At least once a week, I got to talk about how material things are not recovery. That is not the success in recovery. I'm happy for you. I'm glad that you have your in-house movie theater. I'm glad you have your stuff. Good for you. Good job. How's that going to help the next alcoholic? Are you using your privilege to help other people? Because, see, I do. I know that I have a certain privilege. I know I do. I've known this since I was a teenager. And I use it to help other people. Yes, it's what I do. I share that privilege. Absolutely. If I'm capable of doing it and making things equitable for everybody, I'm going to do it. I will do it. So the world measures success by money, status, recognition, and achievement. Mm. Uh, you know, here we are overcoming things again, right? Now, I agree with some of these. Achievement, though, I think achievement should be recognized. You got 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, 6 months. I think that, yeah, that is achievement. Yeah, but you're not going out and like, you know, you're not pushing it. So, but in recovery, it's sobriety, integrity, humility, and service. What looks ordinary to the world is extraordinary in recovery. We get more. But here's the thing. This is a part that non-alcoholic, oh my God, I have got to cut my nails. It's because my hand has been hurting. I will be doing that today. Oh, dear Lord. I'm going to keep my hand closed. I didn't notice. It's kind of embarrassing. What the fuck was I talking about? oh, that is, yes. Because we have gone through what we've gone through, the stigma, the shame, the blame, that means, okay, because as far as you've gone down, you get to go up. That is not a challenge. Okay. You can still go further going up. Okay. Just so you know, not a requirement. So I call it my warm blanket theory. See, when you are relieved of alcoholism, it is a very extraordinary thing. Okay. Now, imagine you're 10 years old, you're sleeping, and you wake up and your covers have fallen off you and you're freezing your butt out. You're really cold because your dad refuses to put the thermometer up above 68, right? Or 60, whatever. But you're cold, right? And you grab your blanket and you put it on you and you're, and then you get this warmth. You get this comfort. And it almost comes it takes a little bit for it to warm up a little bit, but then you find that comfort again, right? But it's a different comfort. Because you wouldn't have felt that comfort if you wouldn't have been cold in the first place. You wouldn't have felt that same warmth, that same gratitude for having a blanket. Okay. And the program is the same thing. It is that blanket that provides you with serenity and these other things. Right. These are things a lot of people don't get to experience, but you do. If you choose that choice. Okay. Because for us, we haven't experienced a lot of things like true happiness, true love, these things, right? So, what is new to us, non alcoholics experienced as teenagers or in their 20s? I'm a little behind when it comes to that. See, they've already experienced that happiness. I had yet to experience it, I was naive to it. So, are we really getting more than? I think it's just happening at a different time. Maybe more than. I don't think it's more than as much as it is different than. It's a little different, right? So, what we used to call success, more drinking power, more control, more image, more ego, more accumulation. How many times have you heard somebody come into the program and say, I thought you were going to teach me how to drink like a gentleman? We are, by not drinking. Abstinence. Yes. 100 total abstinence of alcohol. Yes. That is sobriety. That is the literal meaning of sobriety. the absence of alcohol, right? So, or being able to drink the right way, okay? How do you think a bunch of alcoholics are going to teach you how to drink the right when we don't know how? We chased applause, we chased comfort, we chased approval, and we started to confuse, at least I did, I started to confuse survival with success. But what else, what other success did I have in my life, honestly? Just surviving. I have no idea how I'm here. For 2 years, I lived off two hot pockets a day. That's what I ate, unless the boss was buying lunch that day. Otherwise, all my money went towards bills, but alcohol. Yeah, I would buy I'd go to the store with a limited amount of money. And I don't know how I survived. I don't know how I kept a roof over my head. I don't know how I kept those jobs, man. I have no idea. It's kind of scary to look back on and see all the situations the very precarious situations that I put myself in and thought I was cool, right? So, what is the big book's definition of success? Well, it's a new freedom, a new happiness, peace, purpose, and that spiritual awakening. And what is our success? Are you sober today? There you are. Yeah, there you are. You're sober today. We are a day at a time program. It cannot work any other way. I have got to live in the now because that's where that new happiness is. That's where that new freedom is. Okay. That's where peace is and purpose. Right. What else is success? Well, making amends. Absolutely. Now, why would that be considered success? Because you're learning from it and becoming a better person. You're growing, right? You're growing. And that is success, right? Practicing the principles in all your affairs. Success. What else might be successes in the beginning? Showering, taking your meds. Yes, eating 3 meals, drinking plenty of water. These are big things, man. They may sound like the simple, oh, that's silly. Not in an alcoholic's life. No, these are very much successes. Oh, I was doing all that because I was a functioning alcoholic. Yeah, but your garage is a mess. The yard hasn't been mowed in years. There's weeds growing everywhere, and you don't know your kid's birthday. Don't sit here and tell me. All right? Okay. All right. All right. All right. All right. Showing up honestly. Another great success. Right? So the world, the success is done out here. Right? It's external. What other people see and what other people think of you. The success for recovery is internal. I got 9 minutes. Why, you gotta be somewhere at 12:30? I'm presuming. I got 9 minutes. All right, well, I better hurry then, Michelle. uh, chat is so funny sometimes because the way she's saying is, you got 9 minutes because she probably has to go somewhere, or if I want, I could take that as a threat, right? You got 9 minutes, like you better speed up. Just having fun, Michelle. Thank you for letting me do that. Appreciate it. Right? So success in recovery is internal. What does that mean? It means the only comparison I should make is me to a former self. It's the only legitimate comparison I can actually utilize. Am I becoming better? Right? I love it when sometimes somebody will give me a suggestion or something and it was hard for them to do. Right? They were scared to do it. They weren't sure how I was going to go. And I love saying this line. I love saying this line. God forbid you help me become a better person. I'm going to get so mad at you for that. And it lightens it up so that they're willing to do it again. I can appreciate it. Yeah. I'm thinking we meet then. Oh, it's Thursday. Thanks for the reminder, Michelle. All right. I got to speed this up because I got a spot C in 8 minutes. That's funny. That is so funny. All right. What are some ordinary miracles? What the outsiders don't see. This is what they don't see, right? Oh my gosh. Hey, if we can't laugh, then fuck it. You might as well go drink, right? So, what are some other successes that outsiders don't see? Saying no to the first drink, making that hard amends, choosing honesty over ego, staying when you want to just fucking run, man, right? Praying when you and giving up what control you think you have and giving it up, right? So ordinary days in recovery are extraordinary days for you and I, right? Amber says this is why I don't meet weekly. But I don't have 10 sponsees like you. We need both of us. All right, we're gonna I'm gonna wrap it up there. And this is what I'm gonna wrap up with. We need all kinds, man. Right? We need we just like Bill and Bob had different spiritual experiences. We've got what's great is that your experience is different than mine. Amber's experience is different than mine. Michelle's is different. Everybody it's a little different, which makes it interesting. It makes me want to listen to kind of what you went through and what happened and stuff, right? Yeah. So I have 3 going through the steps. See, I was wrong. She doesn't even have 10. um, I like meeting weekly because I like the consistency. So um, there's I have I'm working with 4 people right now. 2 of them we just meet up. I'm just meeting up with them. In fact, today at 2. So I got to get moving here because I got to do that, and then I got to set up for the podcast at 2. So all right, thank you for the reminder, Michelle. I really appreciate it. I forgot it was even Thursday. And I even announced it Trudging Thursday, but for some reason my mind thought Wednesday. Yay, dyslexia. All right. Thank you all for being here. I appreciate it. I'll see some of you at 2. I'll see others in 5 minutes. I love you. You know I do. Peace out.